The trade deadline was absolutely insane. So many huge moves. We're going to break them all down and give every team a grade.
First up, we got Sauce Gardner.
I mean, I think this one's going to be a super hot take to start off right away. For the Jets, I give them an A++. I love this trade for the Jets. I don't think they could have done any better at this trade deadline. We'll talk about their other moves in a little bit. But the way they started off this deadline, they came out firing. They said, we are going on a fire sale, and we're going to sell as much as we can. And I think that is the perfect move. This is the Broncos GM's protege, this new Jets GM. It looks like he might be the right GM for them because this is one of the first times I've ever seen the Jets do something. I'm like, I really like this move for the Jets. I really like what they're doing with the team. They have been horrible this season. They are 1-7, and I think that they're finally embracing that. I heard somebody talking about kind of why they didn't do this in the offseason. It's a new regime, new GM. Like, you have to give this a shot before you just fire sale everybody. Mm-hmm. I think that this worked out perfectly for them, though. They sucked. Now he has an excuse to fire sale everyone, and he did that exactly. They have 5 first-round picks in the next 2 years. That's unheard of in the NFL. You don't get that very often, and especially without trading a quarterback away. Like, they didn't even trade a quarterback, and they have 5 first-round picks in the next 2 years, which is actually insane. And their first-round pick is going to be so valuable this season because they might get the number 1 overall pick, especially now that they're trading away their pieces. Their defense is going to be even worse. Love this trade for the Jets, though. They do have to execute. They have to draft the right players. That's what's a little bit scary about this approach. But this is the only way they're ever going to get good is by hitting on these first-round picks.
Yeah, but like Sauce Gardner, I give it a B for the Colts and an A+ for the Jets. I love this trade for the Jets. Adonai Mitchell's kind of not being talked about enough. He's their second-best receiver now. He's just such a good project. I think Adonai Mitchell can easily succeed and become even a number 2, like a very good number 2. What?
He's 22 years old, or is he 23 now?
I think he's only 22, but I didn't say that, so I don't know where you got that from.
No, I was asking.
Yeah, I think he came into the league at 21. I think it's...
Yeah, I mean...
So he might be 23, but if he's 23, he's barely 23.
Just another reason they won this trade.
He's so athletic. He was definitely a project coming out of Texas, but... he's shown so much flashes even this year on that play that he dropped it at the 1. Before that, on that play, it was super good. He caught it over that other guy. And, 2 firsts is insane. This is kind of like what Micah went for, right? But, Micah has way more impact to winning than Sauce. Sauce is, the 5th best corner in the league versus, the best pass rusher. I didn't think Sauce would go for this much.
No, if I had to guess what Sauce would have gone for, I would have been a first and something else.
I'd probably be first, a second, and then I
don't even know if I would have given said a second, which is why this is where my hot take kicks in. I have the Colts at a C- here, which is going to be crazy to most people. I don't like this trade for the Colts. I think it was a bad move, and I think it's going to look even worse than a C- in just a couple of seasons. I don't think people realize what this means. The recency bias on this move is absolutely insane. They are going all in on Daniel Jones right now, which is fun. Daniel Jones has played very good. Weird that you did it right after he turned the ball over 5 times and lost you a football game, but this is still Daniel Jones we're talking about. This is not a guy that's going to win you football games. I heard someone say this description of Daniel Jones, and I think it's perfect. Daniel Jones will be good if they are on their back foot from the run game, and he can sit in the pocket and go through his reads. If he is pressured, if he is behind, or if the run game is not working, Daniel Jones is not going to be great for you. And now you have no chance of trying to fill that quarterback hole for at least 2 more seasons now. You're giving up your picks. And this Colts schedule to end the year is rough. There's a good chance they fall down a lot in these standings, even with Sauce Gardner, who I just don't think is going to bring that big of an impact to winning, kind of what you were talking about overall, that's going to be worth that 2 first-round picks. And I don't think this is going to lead to a Super Bowl for them, which means overall I don't think it's a great trade.
Yeah, I don't think it'll lead to a Super Bowl either. And Daniel Jones, I think he's the highest first-read target percentage out of any quarterback in the NFL. When things are there, and everything is on time with the offense. Their offense is insane. It's one of the best offenses in recent memory, according to stats. But when everything breaks down, when you take away that first read, I don't know. I just don't think this team's going to win a Super Bowl, which I only give it a B. But he is probably going to be a Hall of Famer, honestly. Sauce?
Oh, I thought you meant Daniel Jones.
Whoa,
I was like, oh my god.
No, Sauce is. I think he'll be a Hall of Famer when it's all said and done.
I mean,
especially with the media loves him.
He already has 2 All-Pros. This is an amazing corner. I think when people hear of C-, they're going to think I'm saying Sauce is not a All-Pro level talent. This amazing corner. He is, and then when you get your hands on that, that's awesome. I just don't think that there is very limited scenarios where I'd ever say go give up 2 firsts for a corner.
It's like one.
And this is not one of them. Like, you have to be like, you are competing for we don't even know if the Colts are going to win a playoff game yet. Like, yeah, they've looked really good this season. The playoffs are a different breed. We've seen teams like the Vikings that surprised us and went 14-3, and then they get exposed in the playoffs. It happens, and the Colts could definitely be that story this year. I would not be surprised at all to see them be a first-round exit. I don't know if people would be, but that's how we should be looking at them. It's like they still need to prove it to us. If you're approving it to us, team, do not go give up your next 2 years of first-round picks for a corner. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're underrating this trade a little bit for the Colts, but yeah, it's not like the insane trade everybody's talking about it. Like,
I mean, it is for the Jets. The fact that they could have found that deal is insane. That's why I give it A++. But we should probably move on to the next player, which is
Rasheed Shaheed for a 4th and a 5th round pick to the Seahawks.
Yes, I gave this an A for the Seahawks. I love this trade for the Seahawks, and I gave it a B+ for the Saints.
Yeah, I gave it a B- for the Seahawks and a B for the Saints. It's kind of weird. I really don't want to let the Devon Vele trade impact my grade, but you basically gave up got Devon Vele and gave away Shaheed for pretty much the same price. Like, what are we doing? Vele is not that good.
W-trip for the Broncos.
Yeah, I don't get how he went for that much, honestly. And I think Shaheed's younger. So, which is absolutely insane. I think Vele has like 5 catches this year. Something ridiculous. Yeah, he can't even play on the Saints, who have like the worst receiver depth outside of like the Jets.
Who was starting for Bo Nix, by the way.
But the reason why Seahawks fans might be a bit upset with this grade, it's a bit lower than you'd think. Like, they run 2 receiver sets basically all the time. Elijah Arroyo and A.J. Barner, pretty good tight end duo. They're in the game a lot.
Get A.J. Barner out the game.
No, he's good.
No, he's not.
He's a good tight end.
Elijah Arroyo has been flashing the last few weeks, though.
Yeah, but they're both good tight ends.
Yeah, I really like Elijah Arroyo, though. He's super young. I think they're going to get him more involved. Anyway.
Yeah, anyway. But now you're just taking Torrey Horton off the field even more, who's a guy you're trying to develop, trying to be the number 2 receiver behind JSN. And you already have Cooper Kupp, who plays a slot in 11 personnel. So, like, where are we going to get Torrey Horton involved? Like,
I understand what you're saying, because me and McKay actually talked about this when the trade first happened. As you guys know, we roomed together, so we see the live reaction of each other, and he was like, I don't know how much I love this trade because of this. Like, you said the same thing to me. And that got me thinking, because I was like, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. But ultimately, what you got to realize, I was talking to a Seahawks fan, actually, the other day, and I was asking what he thinks of the trade. He was like, that's a good point. I like Torrey Horton, too. But ultimately, I think it's going to cut into Cooper Kupp's time more than Torrey Horton's time.
Cooper Kupp's exclusively a slot, basically. At this
Torrey
point,
Horton can play some in the slot, right?
I like him more on the outside.
JSN,
and if you want to move JSN into the slot, I'd like that to get all 3 on the field, but I don't know if they're going to do that.
I think what's going to end up happening is they're going to run... Like, I think the versatility this brings to the offense is what you see in the difference from a really good team to a Super Bowl contender. I'm not saying the Seahawks are necessarily a contender yet.
I don't know.
But
they could be.
And this versatility is what's going to help them do that, in my opinion, especially when you have no run game. I mean, their run game's horrible, but now you can send Shaheed deep, stretch out the field. He's a deep threat. You got JSN, who's so versatile. He can do just about anything on the field. You've got Torrey Horton, who's going to come in, and now you've got Cooper Kupp and Torrey Horton, who are both not going to have to play all the time, and they're going to have fresh legs. Horton's going to be developing. Cooper Kupp's going to be mentoring. Like, this is the perfect scenario that they want, and I know it's not going to be good for, like, Horton's stats, but it's actually going to be really good for the team.
Yeah, but like, ultimately, Shaheed is a longer-term piece than a lot of people are talking. Like, he's going to be on the team for like 4 years.
This trio is going to be great for years.
Yeah,
and they're going to just get rid of Kupp.
Yeah, but then, Torrey Horton is not on the field a lot, especially.
Yeah, he's the third one.
Yeah, but like they run so much 12 personnel.
Yeah, but
and they're going to still, because Barner's like a second-year player and he's looking like a good tight end 1. And then you got Arroyo, who I think will be a good tight end 1. So you want to keep both of them.
I don't think they're going to run as much 12 personnel now that they have that deep threat. They had no one going deep. They had, they didn't.
Well, Horton's a deep threat.
I mean, but he's really young and he doesn't play all the time. He's been earning more and more snaps. I think ultimately, like they're just going to change up their offense with Shaheed, and that's going to be valuable to them. And I think that a big reason they run 12 personnel is because they can't block in the run game, and that will help them, like having extra big bodies in there. But I think they're just going to
really helping you block in the run game.
I mean, he's a tight end. But my point is, I think this is a really good... I mean, they gave up almost nothing. You get a really good player in Shaheed, who this season has been really good and not talked about. Looking at his stats, I did not realize he had 500 yards this season. That's really, really solid for a guy who was on the Saints, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, very, very good. And I think that he's been a lot better than Horton. Horton's really young, obviously can be a lot better than Shaheed. But right now, Shaheed is better. And if they're competing this year, giving up, what was it, 5th round pick?
A 5th and a 4th.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad trade at all.
I just like Jakobi Meyers is a better player in my opinion, and then he went for less. But
I think that he doesn't fit their offense as much as Shaheed
he's
does.
too similar to JSN.
Right.
But
also the Saints.
I just like the value isn't like phenomenal. Obviously, it makes him better this year, but
And the Saints, and I think it's a long-term thing too, though. I think he can be there for years. But I also think the Saints did the right thing. They had to get some value out of him. Getting a 4th and a 5th, that's good value. They just had to sell too. I actually think they didn't have a good deadline. They should have sold a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to Jakobi. Oh wait, no, not Jakobi.
Jakobi.
Okay, Jakobi Meyers. You were just talking about him. This is a weird trade. I felt like this was a super, super weird trade.
Yeah, like the Jaguars have like the best 5-man receiver rotation in the NFL or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think this means that what's his face? Travis Hunter. I think his injury might be a bit more severe than we think. I think the Jaguars think they can win now, which is a little bit weird in my opinion.
It's just not right.
And
almost lost to the Raiders, by the way.
Yeah, I don't really get it. They're not a good team. I think like a 4th and a 6th is great value for Jakobi Meyers, who I think is a low-end number 1 receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And Brian Thomas Jr. at this point looks like a low-end number 1 receiver, if that. So you got to make that receiving core better, and they kind of did. But like out of all their weaknesses, they really targeted the receiving position.
What'd you give it?
I gave it a B+ for the Jaguars just because of the value, even though I think it's not a guy they should have added. I think a different team should have traded more to make sure they got him. Mm-hmm. And for the Raiders, they give it a D because I feel like there's no way they couldn't have gotten more. Like, I just don't understand it.
I actually kind of went a very different route. I gave the Jags a C. I didn't like it at all. I literally would have been so much lower if it weren't for the value. Like, I just didn't boost it as high as you. I mean, I actually gave the Raiders a B+. They had to get rid of him, and they got a 4th. That's good enough, in my opinion. Like, at these trade deadlines, Jakobi Meyers requested a trade at the beginning of the season. The Raiders were terrible. They were forced to get rid of him. They were going to get less than they should because of that. They still got a 4th, which is fine, and gave him to a team that is not contending, which is very, very smart.
Well, they don't really care who's contending since they're not.
Well, it's just funny the Jags traded for him. I just can't get over that.
I'm glad, though, Parker Washington's still starting.
Yeah, who's next?
Next up, we got Jaylen Phillips.
Oh, okay.
I really like this trade.
Yeah.
For the Eagles, I give it an A+.
I give it an A, but yeah, that's fair.
And for the Dolphins, I gave it a D+. They got a 3rd-round pick for Jaylen Phillips, which is like not terrible compensation, but Jaylen Phillips is a great pass rusher, especially
when
like
healthy.
Yeah, he hasn't been healthy a lot, but when he has been, he's been very good. Now he's healthy. Something I didn't realize until I checked the Eagles depth chart like a few minutes ago was that Nolan Smith's on IR. I don't know how I missed that.
Oh, I did not see that.
But I don't know their backup edge rusher was Jahad Campbell.
Oh,
so this is very much a need. He's 27. He's got a lot of upside right now. Mm-hmm. So I think this is an insane trade for the Eagles. It'll help them win now. It'll help them in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is an amazing trade for the Eagles, like you said. He gave a 3rd. I actually still gave the Dolphins a B. I think that this is an A if they get a 2nd or more. This is a guy who's been super injury prone, and by the time they're going to be competing, he's going to be like almost out of his prime. And they don't want to have to re-sign him with the contracts they already have. This team is going full rebuild mode. They have to go full rebuild mode. They only wanted to keep Waddle, really. Tua's going to be gone soon. Like, they're going to be trying to fix this roster. And I think that selling and getting a good value pick, a 3rd-round pick is a good pick. If you can get that type of stuff for a guy who's really not going to be here in the long run because of the contract and the injuries and all that, then I think it's a decent trade for you. I think you could have gotten more, and that's why it's a B, but I don't think it's a bad trade.
Yeah, but like, it's just like he's easily their best pass rusher, so it's kind of weird for them to move on from him when he's like 27 years old.
Yeah, it's weird, but it's like it kind of makes sense to me.
I just don't like the trade.
Who's next?
Next up, we got Quinnen Williams to the Cowboys. This one's a weird one. They gave up a 1st, a 2nd, and Mozzie Smith.
Yeah,
kind of interesting.
I forgot about Mozzie Smith. That would lower my grade actually for the Jets.
That they got him?
For the
okay,
Cowboys. I meant the Cowboys. But because I somehow forgot about that. But this is another A+ trade for the Jets. Getting a 1st and a 2nd and a young possible like developmental piece. Possible. Like a guy you're taking a fly on.
Yeah, I like that they're taking a flyer on him. That obviously boosts it a little bit. But like, I really have no expectations for Mozzie Smith.
Right, and you don't have to though. But the fact that they got a 1st and a 2nd.
Yeah, that's insane.
What?
What'd you give the Cowboys?
I gave the Cowboys a C+.
I give them an F.
Whoa!
The Cowboys have 3 wins this year. Do they think Quinnen Williams, a win-now player, is going to boost them to the playoffs, make them make a playoff run, he is not going to do
They're
that.
getting a star DT, though. I mean, this is a top 5 DT in the NFL.
Okay, barely.
He's still a top 5 DT. Like, you can't go to an
because
F if when you get a
the
star
Cowboys
like
are
that.
not winning. The Cowboys need to blow it up at this point because their defense is terrible. They're not
can't.
able to win games.
They can't with Dak's contract.
Because they're stupid, and now they add a third $20+ million a year defensive lineman.
Yeah, I agree.
Also, Odighizuwa was getting paid like $25 million a year, and Kenny Clark's getting paid like $22 million a year, and now they have Quinnen Williams who's like $25 million a year.
I agree that they're stupid. They should never have paid Dak. I think that's where everything went downhill. They shouldn't have paid him $60 million, which is ridiculous. This team's not in win now mode. I agree. It's not like Quinnen Williams is like crazy old or anything.
He's like 28, but like I'm just saying,
DTs can play for quite a while.
For how good he is right now, and I just feel like a team that wants to get Quinnen Williams is a win now team, and the Cowboys are not that.
I think that what Jerry Jones wants is he wants to sneak into the playoffs, which isn't going to happen, but I think he wants to sneak in so that he can say the Micah thing didn't happen, and then he can compete like next year by making some moves after. I think that's their goal because they want to compete with Dak here because they think they can with him. But obviously that's not going to work. I'm not saying this trade is going to work, but when you get that caliber of a player, I can't push you that far down.
Yeah, I think this is a very smart trade for Jerry Jones because he's about to die, and that's the only reason. Because he is like 90 years old and he wants to see his team do well. Like, I do not blame him at all. Like,
That's
he is
crazy.
not trying to help the next generations get the Cowboys good. But I'm grading this on like from the standpoint the franchise should be looking at, which is, can we be good eventually? Because right now you're not.
All right, who's next?
Next up, we got Tryon-Shoyinka.
Okay. What'd you give him?
I gave the Bears a C. They needed a pass rusher, and I think they called about it was Jermaine Johnson. They thought the price was too much, so they pivoted to Joe Tryon.
Which is a completely different player, bro. Like, what are we doing?
He is basically a barely rosterable player.
Right.
And, like, I don't remember what the contract was, but it was super low. I think he got, like, a 1 year, $3 million a year contract with the Browns, and hasn't played for them, really. So, I hate this trade for the Bears. I mean, like, obviously, they addressed it. They didn't give up anything. I can't really give them a bad grade. I give the Browns an A just because this is a guy who's not playing snaps for you. Your team sucks. He's gone after this year. Like, you got something for a player that you literally couldn't care less about.
Yeah, I gave both teams a C+. I didn't hear anything about him being possible on the move, actually.
Well, that's because he's garbage.
Yeah.
No one cares about him.
You got rid of him, you get some value, I guess, but it was like nothing. Do you have the
It's
details?
6-7 swap.
Right, like that's like almost nothing.
It's like the least you can get.
And so like I didn't want to put it too high. Like I think it's a good like smart trade for the Browns because he wasn't playing.
Mm-hmm.
But what'd you give it? A-?
Or an A.
I think for me, getting to that A level though is like there's a gap. You actually have to be good at football.
Yeah, I guess.
Or like get something good. Getting
I get that,
6-7 swap is not like a
well, it's like
shoot, dude.
you just got that for free. It was just free.
Yeah, but it's still not like an A. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah, I get that. I just think like you're not gonna trade Joe Tryon and get an A for anything according to that.
that's what I agree.
Unless it's like the biggest scam of all time.
Right, but I'm just like there's just certain players that cannot go for A's in my opinion. And he's
I think that's fair. I just thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah, no, it is kind of. It was just a weird trade.
It was pretty useless.
Who you got next?
Next up, we got Logan Wilson.
This was a weird one too.
Pick. I actually think that this is the kind of moves I feel okay with the Cowboys making because he will help you in the run game. Your linebackers are absolutely terrible, and you only gave up a 6th-round pick. For the Bengals, I gave an A- because he's literally not playing, just like Joe Tryon. But I think he should have been playing because Barrett Carter, the rookie, he has like a crap ton of missed tackles. Their other rookie, Demetrius Knight, also does. Mm-hmm. They're near the top. I looked at missed tackles. Number 1 was Jordan Battle, their safety, and they were both in the top 5.
That's funny.
Like, I don't know why Logan Wilson isn't playing there, but like I don't mind it since he wasn't playing. And for the Cowboys, I gave it a B+ just because this is a very cheap way to upgrade your defense. And Quinnen Williams was way too much for them to upgrade their defense when they're terrible.
Yeah, I gave the Cowboys a B- because like it's like not a bad move. Like they have some like historically bad middle linebackers this season. So like trying to figure out something. I thought this trade was funny because I thought it was what Jerry was hinting at first.
He's like, we made a huge trade for Logan Wilson.
I was like, oh. And then the Bengals, I gave a B. Kind of same thing as Tryon. It's just like you didn't get enough to where I'm gonna make this an A or an A-, but like it's still a good trade for the Bengals for a guy who's not playing.
Yeah.
Who do you got next?
Next, we got Trevor Penning.
Yeah, this was a weird one. Last second trade.
Yeah, I think it was the last trade of the trade deadline. Actually, I think the Jets' other trade was.
Oh, okay.
But
second to last.
Yeah, anyway, the Saints, I gave them an A. They got a 6th-round pick for a guy who's terrible at football, doesn't do anything for their team, and is about to be not in contract anymore. And for the Chargers, I gave it a B. They couldn't find any other lineman they could trade for. They needed to trade for someone. They got a guy with some upside. I mean, he went in the first round 3 years ago, I believe. It was kind of a funny one. He was like a 3rd-round pick, and then he went to the Senior Bowl, and he shoved someone to the ground and started I don't know if you saw those clips. He was just hurting people, and people were like, "Wow, he's got that dog in him." And then he kind of just went up the draft. He was like, what school did he go to? He went to some bum school. It was Minnesota Tech or something.
Dang, that's
kind of funny.
I gave the Chargers a B-. Like you said, there's just they need linemen, even if it's a depth piece. At this point, taking a flyer on him is not a bad thing in my opinion. Try to see if you can figure something out. He's got He's got a decent amount of starts. I think I looked it up. He had 29 starts in his career.
Not sure that happened.
So that's a lot more than a lot of linemen that are starting for them right now. With every single one of their starters hurt except one, I think, and a lot of the backups hurt as well. I've never seen anything like this with the injuries on the offensive line. It's not being talked about at all. Herbert's still playing phenomenal through that, of course. But I think it's a great trade for them. And then I only gave the Saints a C because right now I think that anyone that obviously you've tried it and it did not work so far, but I still think with how bad you are, if you've got a younger offensive lineman, I would just throw him in and see if you could develop him again instead of getting.
Where are they going to play him?
Anywhere. Move him to guard.
Why?
Just try it.
Their guards aren't even. Their line isn't bad. He has no chance of playing. They have McCoy at center. They have. I don't know. Their guards aren't that great, but they have Ruiz. They have someone else, and then they have. They're both their tackles. They picked Fuaga and Banks the last 2 first rounds. So,
but 6 isn't that crazy. We got offered multiple 6 for Frank Crum.
I don't think that's no way. You didn't get offered
multiple teams offered us 6 is what I meant.
That's ridiculous.
For Frank Crum, we said
went
no.
Undrafted, by the way.
Yeah, but
not sure why they did that.
People like having those depth lineman pieces. Moving on.
Next up, we got Draymond Jones. Mm-hmm. At first, I really hated this trade. He goes for a 5th that could turn into a 4th. So a lot more than I thought he'd go for. But I was looking into it. He leads the Titans in pressures with 25.
Wow, I did not know that.
Has 4.5 sacks over the last 4 games. He's been playing the best football of his career, basically. He went to the Seahawks after the Broncos, right? He signed he signed a big contract, or at least a decent-sized contract. He was just terrible for them, and goes on to the Titans. And ever since has been pretty good, honestly. So, and they don't have Madubuike for the rest of the season, so this is a good move for them. I give them a B because I feel that still feels like a decent amount of value you gave up for a guy who's 29 or 30. And for the Titans, I gave it an A. I feel like this was a good amount.
I gave them both a B+. I feel like just kind of exactly what you said. It's a good move for both teams. You're able to get good value for the Titans for a team that's clearly selling at the deadline. A player that no one expected you to get this much for, who might have boosted his value in the last 4 weeks. Apparently, I did not know about those stats, but. And then you've got the Ravens who are trying to compete. They're trying to do anything to make this defense more usable because Lamar will go out there and win you games. He's ridiculous, by far the best quarterback in the NFL, and he keeps proving it time and time again. Was he have 15 touchdowns, 1 pick, and he missed a month of the season? So ridiculous stuff. And they need defensive line help bad. Like you said, Madubuike is also out for the year, so I think this is a great move for both teams.
Yeah, so the conditions on it I thought were kind of interesting. He needs 2 sacks, and the Ravens need to make the playoffs. So I feel like they're gonna get a 4th from it. So,
but it's smart because if the Ravens make the playoffs, they're fine giving up that 4th. So, moving on.
Next up, we got Michael Carter to the Jets for John Mechie and a 6th. Michael Carter and a 7th.
So weird that John Mechie was thrown in there.
Well, they need receiving depth very badly. Their receiving depth is so bad, and this was before they got Adonai Mitchell too.
You know what else they need though? Corner depth.
Well, they did that. They traded for J.C. Taylor. So basically, they got John Mechie and J.C. Taylor for Michael Carter.
Interesting.
Not sure why you do that. Michael Carter's one of the better slots in the league. It's kind of a weird fit with the Eagles. He's probably not going to start.
Not going to play much.
Yeah, but it's good depth, really good depth
yeah.
on its solid contract. And Mechie, he was a second-round pick a few years ago, and then he had, cancer. So he does have some upside, but I wouldn't count on him being anything.
Yeah. I agree. I I gave the Eagles an A- for obtaining him with such little value. Gave the Jets a C. I don't think they did really much here, and honestly might have just make their team worse. But I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing.
I gave the Eagles an A, and I gave the Jets an F.
F. Wow.
Especially with the Jason Taylor move, like, what are we doing?
Well,
I know they're trying to lose, but
they're doing a really good job of trying to lose.
But like, could you at least get like? Why'd you trade for Jason Taylor then? Just sign someone off your practice squad
to make it seem like they're not trying to lose.
No,
so
but
they don't
just
get
a
fined.
waste.
No,
it's just a waste.
They can't get fined. Okay, we have 3 left, correct?
Oh, wait, what?
How many do you have left?
Okay, we'll just do your last one after, I guess.
Okay.
I only have 2.
Oh, okay. I have Jair on here, too. That's probably the one you don't have.
Oh, yeah, I don't have that one.
Okay, well, we can do Jair. We can throw him in there right now. We'll do Jair right now because we're talking about the Eagles and the Eagles' corners. I gave both teams a B for this trade. The Ravens weren't playing Jair. They didn't need Jair. They didn't want Jair. They got rid of him for anything. It's a B move. And then the Eagles, I also gave a B because you're kind of just taking a flyer on him. Because why the frick not? You're not giving up much. You're a Super Bowl contender. If he goes to 50% of what he used to be, that's an addition to this team that you love to see with Adoree Jackson, who's really been struggling this season. And they've actually swapped out a couple times with that starting outside corner next to Quinnen and DeJean. And I think that, taking a flyer on a guy for such a cheap price when you're a contending team that's coming off a Super Bowl win is never a bad thing.
I think Keely Ringo's the other guy they've tried at corner, and he's also
Maddox, too, I think, right?
Maddox isn't on their team, I thought. I thought he went somewhere else.
Oh, maybe I'm tripping then. I thought I saw him play against us.
Maybe he did. I know he used to be on their team. I just saw it.
I thought Maddox played this year against us over Adoree Jackson. I was like, dang it, I wanted Adoree to play.
I mean, who wouldn't want like a 5'6" guy playing outside corner? So I don't know why they do that.
Remind me his first name. I can look up what team he's on.
Avante Maddox, something like that. I think that's what it
Avante, yeah.
That's what I said.
Yeah, I mean, Detroit Lions?
Yeah. Okay, that makes more sense.
Really? He's playing. Dude, their corners have been so jacked this season, by the way. But that's
and they didn't make a move.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah. Very, very interesting. Do you want to talk about Jay or you want to move on?
No, I don't really care about him.
Okay, moving on.
Next up, we got Keon White, 6th and 7th swap. I thought this was a weird trade. I thought they'd get more for Keon White, but he really has not done anything this year. He's not getting on the field. The coaching staff apparently does not like him, so they got rid of him. I think the draft pick was absolutely terrible at the time. Super athletic, but didn't have any production in college. I never thought it made sense. Plus, he was like 24, 25 coming out of college.
I thought this one was a 6 and 6 swap. Isn't this?
That's what it said on the website, but then I looked it up again and on other things, and it said 6 and 7. And I was like, a 6 and a 6 because I graded that out originally. I was like, that's an F. What are you doing?
I graded this a D for the Patriots. I think it's a horrible move if you got that 6 and 6 swap, which is what I was grading it off of. And the 49ers, I gave an A-. I think this is a good move for them. They have a lot of pass rush injuries, and Robert Saleh, and that Niners defense, they can develop pass rushers real well. Michael Williams now out for the year, so now he can maybe slot in, maybe prove himself. He's had flashes in the past. Maybe he can bring that back out, and they can get the best out of him for a very, very cheap price. I think taking a flyer on him is not a bad thing at all.
I love Robert Saleh as a defensive coordinator.
For sure.
So I think this is a great spot for Keon White to go. I gave the Niners an A and the Patriots a C-. I mean, he wasn't really playing, and they got something for him, but maybe he should be playing a little bit, just see what you have. I don't know. Yeah. I just think it was kind of weird. And
the last one is going to be Roger McCreary. This, outside of what the Jets did, this is my favorite trade of the deadline that no one's talking about. Well, it's kind of weird. I think he's got to be playing on the outside now, right? Because Lake plays slot a lot. But now you're adding another younger piece that is really good. He's a good starter right now. I give it an A. Looking at it, maybe an A+. This trade was so good for them. This is an F for the Titans. What the heck are you doing? I don't get it. Makes no sense. Let me give up one of our best players for nothing, for no reason, and he's younger. At least try to get something out of him. The Rams, literally, my favorite to win the Super Bowl right now. I think they've looked like the most complete team over the last 6 weeks, especially. This defense is not being talked about. This defense is stifling right now. No one can score on this defense, and not to mention that Matthew Stafford is not making any mistakes. They're moving the football well. We believe in Sean McVay. This team is dangerous, and I think that they're going to win this year's Super Bowl. Been saying that since a long time. I think we both predicted Rams.
Yeah, we did.
Rams Ravens, but I think as of right now I'd switch that to the Rams winning instead of the Ravens. And I don't know if I'm super confident the Ravens make the Super Bowl right now, but
I still think that might be my prediction.
Yeah,
the AFC is weird.
The AFC is wide open, but the Rams I think are the strongest team in the league right now. They've looked so good, and adding Roger McCreary just makes them even more dangerous. And they did nothing to do so.
He's got like a lot of inside-out versatility. He's played a lot of slot, a lot of outside. He's like 24 years old. You just don't see a player like this get moved for nothing.
I don't think he's that young, right?
He might be 25, but he's no older than 25.
25, yeah. He turns 26 at the end of this year.
Wow, he's a lot older than I thought.
Yeah.
Must have been an older prospect coming out. Because I think he still has another year on his rookie contract after this year.
Still super young. 25 is not old.
So I think he'll be starting on the outside. Their corners on the outside, it's always a revolving door. It's so hard to remember who's actually starting this year. So I don't even know. But I assume he's slotting in outside.
I mean, get rid of Emmanuel Forbes, right?
Yeah, he is starting. But
how is their defense that
better.
good? How is their defense that good with him in there, bro?
Well, he's looked way better.
Yeah, but you can kick him off the field now.
Wow. That's kind of mean.
But that is it for our grades. Let us know in the comments what you disagree with. I think we're going to have some taste that people disagree with. I don't know if people are going to love the sauce take.
I know they won't.
Yeah, so let us know down in the comments. And if you stayed to the end of this video, probably means you liked it. So you should like the video, subscribe to the channel. We would really, really appreciate it. Have a good one, everybody.